Good morning. I'm on a journey to uncover the true historical record of former President Donald J. Trump. But don't accept these facts hook, line, and sinker simply because they do or don't fit into your narrative. Verify all news. Compare sources on the left with sources on the right. Only then can you speak accurately and intelligently on the issues. Don't simply parrot what others are saying. If you blindly accept what others say without conducting your own research, don't talk to me. You have no argument. You and I know that events are often presented out of context with a dishonest facade of being trustworthy. President Trump is a lying, corrupt insurrectionist and racist who is today's Hitler bent on destroying democracy. Right. Vice President Kamala Harris says that Trump is a fascist. And Vice President candidate Tim Walz has called comments from the former president so damn racist. So, is former President Donald J. Trump really a racist? In 4 years as president, he accomplished more initiatives for blacks and other minorities than any other president in recent memory did in 8 years, including Democrat presidents. And that was during 2 years of COVID. So feel free to research this information. It is all verifiable. No doubt these facts will be surprising, even shocking to many, because liberal and mainstream media refuse to cover the facts or acknowledge their validity. Instead, they provide misrepresentations, misleading commentary, and flat-out lies. That's right. Our most trusted resources can no longer be trusted wholeheartedly, whether liberal or conservative. Be honest, you know that this is true, or you at least have suspected it. While Trump's critics ignore his accomplishments or refute them, they take shots at his personhood in angry rhetoric to cover the fact that they have no factual information to ascribe to. In fact, they accuse him of the very things they are guilty of. That is what disreputable, malevolent people do. They promote lies to preempt the truth and destroy integrity. And they are not capable of thinking on their own. They have been deceived, and they don't even know it. Although Mr. Trump is called a racist by liberals, video clips dating back to at least 2000 demonstrate that numerous times Trump has renounced white supremacy, the KKK, and other hate groups. He said, "Racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything we hold dear as Americans." Going back to 1986, Trump received an Ellis Island Medal of Honor award for patriotism, tolerance, brotherhood, and diversity. Jesse Jackson recognized him for providing free rental space on Wall Street for Jackson's Rainbow Coalition and praised him for a lifetime of helping the black community. Mr. Trump contributed millions of dollars to inner-city charities. Racist? Well, apparently not. We had better rethink that. In December 2018, President Trump signed the First Step Act of 2018, part of the Criminal Justice Reform Bill, designed to improve criminal justice outcomes and to reduce the size of the prison population while creating mechanisms to maintain public safety. It helped former inmates return to society and included retroactive sentencing reductions. In June 2020, he signed an executive order for police reforms, ensuring that law enforcement agencies meet higher standards in the use of force and de-escalation, provide mental health, addiction, and homelessness experts to serve as co-responders, and help prevent abusive officers from transferring to other departments. By fully enforcing America's immigration laws, President Trump made major gains toward ending the humanitarian crisis at our southern border, keeping criminals, terrorists, and drugs out of our country, and protecting American workers and taxpayers against job loss and misuse of the welfare system. Joe Biden destroyed all of this on his first day in office. Illegal aliens have come into our country by the millions. Fiscal year 2023 was the worst year in history at Americans' borders. Kidnapping, rape, murder of innocent American citizens have been perpetrated by them. Many of these illegal immigrants have been provided transportation to various cities and given rights and preference to education, health care, accommodations at luxury hotels, money in their pocket, and forms to fill out for illegally voting. How can the Democrats justify giving criminals more benefits than our poorest citizens, and especially our veterans? They can't. It is shameful. It is unconscionable. It's frightening. Well, that's on Biden and Kamala Harris. Children's bodies are found floating in the Rio Grande River. Many others serve as drug mules or are taken into sex trafficking. Children by the thousands have slipped across our borders and disappeared in the interior, unaccounted for. That's on Biden and Kamala Harris. Oh, you haven't seen those reports? Well, wake up. Look around. They are out there. Maybe just not from the news outlets you normally follow. Only some known gang members and criminals have been arrested, and some 27,000 pounds of fentanyl were seized. But that is less than 10% of all illegal drugs smuggled across the southwest border. As a result, Americans are dying in epidemic numbers. That's on Biden and Kamala Harris. Inflation remained low during Trump's presidency. When he left office, the inflation rate was one of the lowest in U.S. history. Biden's policies raised inflation to one of the highest in U.S. history. Again, look all this stuff up. According to the Heritage Foundation, Biden did not inherit inflation from Trump. In Trump's last month in office, the inflation rate was 1.4%. Under Biden, 18 months later, 9.1%. The mortgage interest rate was 2.9% when Trump left office. Then it increased to roughly 7%. Interest rates on 10-year Treasury bills was 0.9%. After 3.5 years of Biden, the interest rate was 4.3%. Minus the two COVID years, 2020 and 2021, the average deficit under Trump was roughly $750 billion. Under Biden, the average deficit was $1.5 trillion, twice the amount. Pre-COVID-19, Trump brought African American and Hispanic unemployment to the lowest in history. In 2019, the lowest paid 25% of Americans saw a 4.5% income rise, which benefited many African Americans and Hispanics, of course. Poverty rates for blacks and Hispanics reached their lowest levels since the U.S. began collecting the data. Sure, reports from the Washington Post, for example, may be in contrast with much of this information. The Post, once a trusted source, now embraces lie after lie after lie. It's funny. Their subtitle is "Democracy Dies in Darkness." They are the ones who have turned out the lights. Seriously, do your research. If you don't have verified facts on hand to back up your arguments, then don't waste my time. Trump established opportunity zones which interjected billions of dollars into underserved communities and provided for historic tax cuts. In 2020, according to the AP, Trump announced that more than $35 million would be awarded to organizations that provide housing and other services to survivors of human trafficking. He replaced NAFTA with the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement turning the costly NAFTA program into one that benefits North American workers, farmers, ranchers, and businesses. 2018 and 2019, he provided $28 billion in aid for farmers and $12 billion for farmers affected by unfair trade practices. He brought back numerous manufacturing companies to the U.S. Apparently, some people believe that Trump is more interested in his wealth than in helping others, and that Obama put the people first. No, actually, Trump lost millions while serving as president. Obama's wealth increased by tens of millions, hundreds of millions probably, I think, while in office. In 2020, Trump launched the Hispanic Prosperity Initiative to ensure that parents have the freedom to send their children to public, private, charter, faith-based, magnet, home, or independent schools of their choice. The Hispanic high school graduation rate reached an all-time high and dropout rate an all-time low. Trump made sweeping reforms to the decades-old mismanagement of the much-maligned Veterans Administration. According to NPR, the Trump administration's HIV program, launched in 2019, sent more than $1.7 billion through different federal health agencies to HIV hotspots around the country. Several foreign diplomats and academia nominated Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. Did you know that? Including for orchestrating the Abraham Accords peace agreement between Israel, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Morocco, and Sudan. His efforts to bring reconciliation to North and South Korea, improving relations between India and Pakistan, and brokering a deal to normalize relations between Serbia and Kosovo. Compare that to former President Obama being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009, just months into his presidency, for his extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples. Really? What had he done? He had just walked through the door, and he made extraordinary efforts. The former director of the Norwegian Nobel Institute, Geir Lundestad, later said he regretted Mr. Obama's selection. He told the AP, even many of Obama's supporters believed that the prize was a mistake. Internationally, many argued that he had not made any impact worthy of the award. Regarding times of war, one foreign diplomat stated, Trump has broken a 39-year-old streak of American presidents either starting a war or bringing the U.S. into an international armed conflict. In 2018, Trump led the U.S. to become the world's largest producer of crude oil, making the U.S. energy independent. He moved the U.S. Embassy in Israel to Jerusalem, fulfilling biblical prophecy. Former Presidents Clinton, George W. Bush, and Obama all made the same promise, but they never followed through with it. According to CNN, in 2019, Trump freed numerous hostages and detainees over a 2-year period. He led the U.S. to pull out of the World Health Organization due to China's influence and control. The World Health Organization is, incidentally, a private organization that seeks to control world health with no government oversight and having no government authority. Trump placed sanctions on China due to their inequitable and illegal practices. He secured $250 billion in new trade and investment deals in China and $12 billion in Vietnam. In December 2019, he permanently funded more than $250 million a year for historically black colleges and universities and other institutions that serve minority students. He did so because former President Obama would not provide funding permanently, which meant the HBCU representatives had to return every year to request funds. Trump also increased the amount significantly. During 2016 through 2020, there were many bad actors within and in association with the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Department of Justice, who worked outside the rules and laws of the federal government in an illegal and unjustified effort to discredit President Donald Trump. Again, look all this stuff up. These efforts, however, all exonerated him and cost the American people millions of dollars. And that hasn't changed. It is only strengthened in the 2024 presidential race. In early 2018, the House Intelligence Committee Chairman, Devin Nunes, released a memo which rightfully alleged that the DOJ and FBI officials had used a dossier which they knew had been paid for by the Hillary Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee. Democrats, the FBI, DOJ, and the media were bitterly opposed to making this memo public, as you can imagine. In response, Representative Adam Schiff, Democrat from California, the former House Intelligence Committee Chairman, issued his so-called Correcting the Record report in 2018, where he contradicted every point Nunes made. The Washington Post, Politico, CNN, the New York Times, U.S. News and World Report, and other media effusively praised the Schiff memo while utterly condemning Nunes. However, former DOJ Inspector General Michael E. Horowitz proved the Schiff report to be false in every respect, that Schiff repeatedly lied about Trump-Russia activities. To this day, Schiff continues to lie about them, even though the evidence clearly proved otherwise. He was subsequently removed from the House Intelligence Committee and was censored by the House of Representatives. So, was the media quick to revisit or apologize for their false claims about the Nunes memo or credulous support of Schiff's memo? Not so much. Even if they had, the damage was done, and they certainly know that. People are lazy and are so easily brainwashed into believing the news at face value. In 2019, Horowitz stated, "We are deeply concerned that so many basic and fundamental errors were made by 3 separate hand-picked investigative teams on one of the most sensitive FBI investigations. After the matter had been briefed to the highest levels within the FBI, even though the information sought through use of a Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA, authority related so closely to an ongoing presidential campaign. During the 2016 presidential campaign, the Steele dossier was produced by former MI6 British operative Christopher Steele, who was commissioned by Hillary Clinton and the Democrats to make false allegations that there were ties between the 2016 Trump campaign and Russia. FBI agents even offered to bribe Steele $1 million to corroborate the allegations. Can you believe that? Which they knew were not true. Meanwhile, the FBI launched the Crossfire Hurricane investigation to determine if individuals associated with the Trump campaign were coordinating activities with Russia. It was a witch hunt. Numerous erroneous accusations supported by Democrats, the DOJ, and the FBI were alleged, but none of them were legitimate. Also, a series of text messages were discovered that revealed that FBI employees participated in a conspiracy to interfere with the Trump campaign. You didn't know that, did you? Special Counsel Robert Mueller conducted a 22-month investigation where he found that Russia did interfere with the 2016 election, but did not find that the Trump campaign or anyone associated with it conspired or coordinated with the Russian government. 2017, he also noted that the FBI used false information provided by a Russian analyst to illegally obtain surveillance warrants under FISA. John Durham, appointed special counsel by Attorney General Barr, conducted an investigation that concluded with a final report that criticized the FBI and DOJ. It stated that they failed to uphold their important mission of strict fidelity to the law and argued that a full investigation never should have been launched. A.G. Barr added, "The evidence developed during the special counsel's investigation is not sufficient to establish that the president committed an obstruction of justice offense." Boom. The DOJ report concluded that the FBI fabricated language material to the FBI and repeatedly disregarded important requirements to obtain FISA surveillance orders. Personnel disregarded significant exculpatory information. Significant reliance was placed on investigative leads provided or funded by Trump's political opponents, and they continually lied to Congress. The FBI demonstrated that it actively participated in a conspiracy to interfere with the Trump campaign in the 2020 presidential election. That interference was clearly steered against Trump in favor of the Democratic opposition candidates. The FBI also colluded with a Russian analyst and offered to bribe British spy Christopher Steele $1 million, made accusations that they knew were not legitimate, as did the Democrats and the DOJ. The current DOJ Attorney General, Merrick Garland, FBI Director Christopher Wray, along with Homeland Security Director Alejandro Mayorkas, have each weaponized their agencies to work directly in opposition to conservative Republicans without impunity in an attempt to influence the presidential elections of 2020 and 2024. We are overdue for Americans to demand that truth be upheld within our government. The prospect of canceling differing political opinions, usually identified as false news, is the very thing that our society cannot allow moving forward. In Guidepost magazine, July 1970, Walter Cronkite wrote about honesty. He said, "A highly placed man in Washington suggested that a little management of the news now and then would be in the national interest. But I felt so strongly against the idea of manipulating news that I spoke out against it publicly. Our friendship was strained. That was painful. But it would have been more painful to have allowed such an idea to go unchallenged. If we let the lies of unbiased reporting dictate our world, we open ourselves to a banana republic, a third world dictatorship, a tyrannical regime that our forefathers risked their lives to abolish, and freedom would be lost." So who should make decisions regarding what should be labeled misinformation, disinformation, false information? No one. No one has the right to censor speech. That protection is addressed in the First Amendment. But a distinction between truth and lies must always be made. Verifiable facts can prove or discredit commentary. However, Democrats are increasingly censoring valid conservative reports, while inaccurate liberal posts continue to proliferate. Commentary should never be confused with factual reporting. They must always be separated. Donald Trump is a friend to the black community. Barack Obama is not. Neither are Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. The record clearly shows who is who. The Republican Party is the champion of civil rights. The Democratic Party is not. The Republicans are trying to uphold our God-given rights to freedom. The Democrats are not. Republicans fight to preserve our country. Democrats seek to tear it down. If you don't know that by now, then you had better dig deep into your soul, because you are on the wrong side of truth. The God who gave us life gave us liberty at the same time. Honor, justice, and humanity forbids us to surrender freedom. We will take up arms for the preservation of our liberties. The God who gave us life gave us liberty. Pray for our country. This is Barry Skeens for the preservation of these United States.